Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We've got Sam here, the Wyvern, Chris, the Kodiak, and our special guest for tonight is going to be Scott of Aries EDC. Welcome to the channel, Scott. Thank you
What's
for
going
hanging
on?
out with us tonight. Appreciate you.
Of course. Thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's our pleasure. So we'll get started. Let's see who's hanging around in the room. Here we've got Henry. What's up, Henry? How's it going, my friend? Sister Stables, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Ramses, always mod number one. Appreciate you, my friend. Always hanging in with us and doing the job that I can't ever do because I don't know how you keep up with it, man. But you do. Everybody's links and everything like that. You're awesome. Appreciate you for doing that. My father, Daddy Wyvern's in the house. What's up, Dad? And Kelly's Mishmash in the house. Kelly, appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. So it's a quiet one so far. We've only got 8 people in here, but it will pick up. I know Maddie, he doesn't follow daylight savings time in Arizona. So because of that, his schedule hasn't changed on his side, but it's changed for the rest of us. And so he now runs an hour into our live. So, but I don't want to change our time because 10 o'clock is too darn late to start.
And their clocks are, I don't know how they function at all because their time is like way off compared to everybody else's in the entire country.
You know, until about 15, 20 years ago in Indiana, we didn't either. And everybody else changed and we didn't. And man, I despise daylight savings time.
Yeah.
I wish we'd pick a time and run with it. I hate changing my clock and kills me.
We're not going by candlelight anymore. We just don't need it. Okay.
I've got electricity and clocks. I don't need to set my day by the sunlight.
No, absolutely. I don't know, but it's weird when one state does it and everybody else does, and then
so
nobody
there's
knows
still
what time it is.
Isn't there like a county or something in Indiana that still doesn't recognize daylight? There's one county. Really?
Like in the middle of the state too. They're just like, we refuse. Yeah.
Yeah, like talk about being ridiculous rebel, right? So
yeah.
Burning Stables Forge. What's up, Clayton? Thanks for coming in, man.
Clayton?
Appreciate you.
What's going on,
Fred
man?
the Lug is in here. How's it going, Fred? Looking forward to meeting you as well, Fred. Finally. So we'll see you in Texas in a couple days. I get in tomorrow night, so we'll probably see you on Friday. Adventure 50 is in here. What's up, Lance? Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you. Kanji Blades is in here. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. Blessed EDC in the house.
Donnie Bless is in the house. What? Oh, Blessed EDC. Okay.
Yeah, Blessed EDC. That Donnie Bless is Laser Ghost.
Yeah, that's two totally different things. Don't confuse those two.
Yes. Flight at 5 a.m. tomorrow. No, I'm going to be sleeping at 5 a.m. tomorrow, Fred. Sorry, man. Robert Jones. Robert Jones is here. What's up, Robert? Yeah, so daylight savings for one county in Indiana, and then you have Arizona. And Maddie kind of like, I think it's funny because Maddie's like, oh, I don't care what the rest of the country does. We're just going to pay attention to us. So, walk to the beat of your own drum thing.
I mean, at this time, it's like, just go live when you want to because there's so many people. It's hard not to step on somebody at some point in time. So you just got to pick a time, go with it, and just, apologize later.
Well, I mean, I picked the worst of the least of the packed nights, if you will, when we decided to go, and it was like I was trying to figure out what we were going to do, and it worked in Chris's favor too, because I mean, this guy's a busy character over here as well, so it's like it's the only night that he pretty much was able to free up for us anyway, so that's good too. Which, I'm glad that he's on with us because I know that he's got a packed schedule. So, Fred, you're going to go tomorrow when tables are setting up. I'll be there early on Friday. So I'm going in with Concept, and Concept asked me if I'd help them set up. So
Yeah, Fred. You should have reached out, Fred. You're ever in the town, let me know.
he's he went to Orlando. Okay. Yeah. I used to live in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm on the west side, but yeah.
Oh, you're on the west side of Orlando? I was on. So when I first moved down there, I moved into the Conway section, and I had no idea that it was like not a good area when I moved there. So
there's pockets of good and bad everywhere, but there's some good in Conway, but there's you got to be careful.
Yeah, and then
don't go around that corner.
And then after we had some problems at that place, I moved to the east side, and I lived on right off of Alafaya Trail next to UFC. Try again, Sam.
That's a mistake.
Didn't upgrade at all, did he?
No, college town. He in the heart of college, right there.
But Scott, you got to keep in mind, I was 22 years old. I was living the dream.
There you go. That's different then. That's like you're in the heart of everything right there.
Yeah, I was living in Waterford Lakes. It was just as it was being built up. So it was really fun. There was like, lots of young people and lots of new shops and stuff like that. And at the time I was always fishing and doing stuff. So it didn't take long for me to head a little east and hit the piers and stuff like that over there and go fishing. So I had a blast, man. I loved that side of it. But
yeah, I'm on the complete opposite side of Orlando.
As long as you don't live on OBT, you're okay.
Oh yeah, no.
That's usually where I stay when I go.
I bet you do. Crispy hunting down them dirty girls.
Knows OBT. He knows OBT. That's all I have to say.
I used to take a golf trip to Orlando every year. I did it for about a decade, and my younger years, and usually one night we would go hang out there, and
the mischief.
And
it takes one night. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I'm still alive to talk about it. So
there you go. Silver Trails, what's up, my friend? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Cliff Brott, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? How is Alaska?
Alaska.
What's that?
He's in Alaska. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let's see here. Anybody else sneak in? Miranda Keith just hopped in. Hey, Miranda, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Yeah. So, Scott, this is really the first time we've ever had like a face-to-face conversation. I mean, we've chatted in your chats before and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
What got you into making knives, man? Like, it's one thing to design like we do, where, the skill set is not necessarily hand making anything. And then there's what you do, which is, a different level of artistry, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just a really weird thing. I was just getting into knives, and I just started a job where it was okay, because I was in education for most of my life, and it's kind of frowned upon to carry a knife when you're a teacher, or working in schools and around schools. And I did have just something small. What is it? The gosh darn it. What's the little K-bar? I had like a little Buck Nano. I don't know. You know what that is? Like the little suit. It's just something small. And, but I really started to get into knives, and because I was always interested. And then, I'm trying to figure out if you want the long version or the short version of this. And I ended up going through some personal stuff, and I got another job outside of education where it's okay to carry a knife and you actually need something. So I was carrying knives and using the knives, and I was having a lot of issues. I would have to take the knife apart every day because of what I was doing. There was a lot of fine powders, and we were like breaking open bags of salt, and uh, it's in the pool industry. So we're cutting open bags of salt and like sodium bicarbonate and DE powder and all of this stuff. It was gunking up the pivots, and I found myself taking apart knives. And then my wife had bought me a knife that was dedicated for the job that I didn't. She was just something cheap. It was a Kershaw assisted opening, like steel frame lock. And it was just something cheap that she found for me. And it had a free floating pivot, and I could not get the pivot out. As much as I tried, I couldn't get it out. I broke the whole knife apart just to clean that thing out, and it was becoming a giant pain. And then I saw this sitting in a store, and I was like, oh, well, that's what I need, a small little fixed blade that I can carry, that I could do all the little things that I need to do. It's not going to get in the way. And at that same time, I was really starting to getting into collecting again with the knives. And then I don't know about you, but at some point I just started drawing. And if you guys are designers, and the drawing is part of it, and just what comes in your brain, and doing curves and doing all whatever happens. So I'm just drawing and drawing, and I'm really getting into fixed blades. And then I drew out this shape. I drew out that shape. And then I ended up putting it into wood, because at the time I was doing a lot of woodworking and just kind of just piddling in my garage doing some stuff. So, and you can see the name of that is the Obsession, because once I made that into wood, then it started to click in my brain that this is comfortable. This is what it feels like. And I can feel what that knife would feel like in my hand. And I would literally just walk around the house with this in my hand and just be like, here, no, hold this. And my wife's not interested whatsoever. And then, so she was like, why don't you find somebody to make that knife for you? And I was like, really? Well, okay. So, and I was pretty naive and ignorant to knife making and like nothing involved. And I was watching Forged in Fire and all this stuff. And I was, so I thought everything was forging. I thought I had to forge a knife. So, I looked up a couple makers, and I sent them pictures of this knife if they would do it. And like most makers, they're a little hesitant taking on somebody else's design and just doing it. A lot of makers won't touch it, which I found out they won't. But I found somebody to do it, and for some reason I was dead set on wanting somebody here locally to do it, which was even more difficult to find. And I found somebody to do it. He said he would do it. He said, oh yeah, it'll take me 6 to 8 weeks to do the knife. I was like, cool, I'll send you this wooden blank so that you have a pattern to go off of. He was like, cool. So I just threw this in an envelope, mailed it to him. And I guess it was about 2 weeks, and I hadn't heard back. So I hit him up, and I'm like, hey, did you ever get that wooden blank I sent you? He's like, oh, I don't know. I haven't been in the mailbox. I better go check it. And that should have been my first red flag. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, yeah, I got it. I was like, okay, cool. So I waited 8 weeks, heard nothing, got nothing. And then I started badgering him like, hey man, what's going on with this knife? Are you working on this knife? And he was like, hey man, this is my part-time job. I don't do that knives full time. I'm working on it. I haven't been able to get in the shop. And, after about 4 months of chasing and harassing this guy about this knife, he finally sent me pictures of what he did. And I just wasn't happy with it. And about this time, I met some other makers, and they introduced me to stock removal knife making. And I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, wait a minute. So you don't have to forge. You just have to put together a handful of hand tools, or like put together some hand tools, and you can actually do this yourself, and maybe not the heat treat process and all of that. And then I found Peters that does heat treating, and then it kind of all fell into place. And then my wife was like, well, put together a list of tools and stuff, and maybe we can make this work.
Yeah.
And this was all just supposed to be a weekend, a hobby. It was just supposed to be a hobby. It was just supposed to be something fun that I did. And at the time, like I said, I was going through a lot of stuff, and this was kind of a getaway type hobby for me to focus and be creative and to do it. So I made my first knife. And after that, it was just kind of like, I was hooked. I was just kind of like,
little did you know what you were getting yourself into.
Oh, I had no idea that the light bulb would go off, and I was like, I'm completely addicted to this now. I took raw material and I created this tool that I can go out and use in the method for which I want it to use. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I started drawing all kinds of different designs and taking inspiration from the production folders and like blade shapes and handle shapes, and trying to be like, okay, well, what would that look like as a fixed blade? And then I started to put all of these things together and started to design new knives and design different things. And I just went off, and it just kind of, that was like the beginning.
And then the landslide of tool purchases, right?
Yeah. Well, and then it's like, okay, that took a lot long with this tool, but I started meeting other makers, and they're like, well, you could use this tool, because I started for almost 2 years. I was on a 1x30, just busting out knives I still have it. I still use it. Not for grinding bevels or any of that, but I still use it. It's a 1x30, and it has the disc on the side, and I still use the disc on the side, but I don't really use I use it for helping sharpening and stuff now. But I did a lot of knives on my 1x30, and that thing is still going. So yeah,
That's
and then
awesome.
it's just the progression, and how can you make things go faster? I need a better drill press. I need a better grinder. I need all of these different things. And
I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I saw your video of your new drill press, and punching through, you're punched through 14C, I think, right?
AEB. Well, I
AEB.
use AEB and Nitro V and ADCRV2 are my 3 steels that I normally
That's right.
work with. But I've drilled through Magna Cut and all kinds of different stuff too.
Nice.
That's before it's heat treated though, which is much easier to drill through.
Yeah.
Pre-heat treat. Trying to drill through that heat treated, no, you forget about it. It's not. You're just not gonna. It's just not gonna do. I try to drill as much as I possibly can the holes before going into, like, if I have to drill like a hole like that into a handle, then I'm doing pre-heat treat.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I upgraded my drill press, and it's still just a Harbor Freight drill press, but I can do these holes if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
That's
really cool.
Hey Shay, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. I see you there. Yeah. Chris and I, heck, both of us have been knife enthusiasts for a long time. And I think for the most part, we never really understood a lot behind knives when it comes to, for us, rewind 5, 6, 7 years ago, and $200 knife was like mind blowing to us, right? It was like, are you out of your mind? $200, like, I could buy this crap at the gas station for like $14, and
it'll open my Amazon package. Yeah,
open an Amazon package.
What most people are using it for.
Yeah,
but then you get your hands on one, and that's usually where the story gets told. All of a sudden, you're like, flick, and you're like, oh my lord. And then the sounds and the feels and the smoothness and watching people, the way they handle it. And the next thing you know, your mind is just like, I need to get one of these. And I mean, Chris and I, we were supposed to go to the NRA show in Houston a few years ago, 2022.
21 or 22. Yeah, I think it was 22.
And it was, you know, COVID was still running rampant and they canceled the NRA show. But look, I moved out here to Indiana from New Jersey, and I really like didn't know a whole lot. I didn't have a whole lot going on. All I did was like work and then hang out with the family. I was like, I really just want to like escape and just go away for a couple days. And this was like, it kind of like just dampened my spirits. And Chris was like, we'll still road trip. Let's just go somewhere.
There you go.
So we drove down to Memphis, Tennessee to the Pyramid Bass Pro Shop there. Then we drove all the way across Arkansas to what is the name of that knife shop, Chris?
R.G. Russell's?
A.G. Russell.
A.G. Russell's, yeah.
A.G. Russell. And that was where Chris and I bought our first real knives, if you will. And it was, I bought a Benchmade bug out. Chris, you bought a Osborne? Was that where
Osborne
you bought
940? Yeah.
And you want to watch two big oafy dopes try to figure out a crossbar lock publicly is not a good thing. We're both swinging our arms around this way. It's not opening.
We just need more force.
You got the 15-year-old kid just flicking it back and forth, looking at us like we are just two absolute morons wandering around the shop. It's first thing in the morning. And
you got 600 pounds of man just floating around, just slinging these cross just as hard as we can actually swing to try to get to break the Omega spring. Yeah.
A Benchmade has to be broken in too. So that's not,
we'd had as good of a luck, you know, breaking in one of the ones or flinging open one of the ones that you make. Like these things weren't budging.
No.
Yeah, we were two absolute disasters and court jesters at the same time for the people that were in the store. So the guy who runs the store, his name is Phil, and his son were there that morning, and it was just eventful from the get-go with that, and it was ridiculous. But Chris and I just basically got hooked. And then last year, I don't know, I was watching a lot of these guys, the videos and the content creators creating knives and making stuff. And it was like, look, I have a lot of ideas and I've always kind of noodled around with this stuff, but it was like, maybe I could just take something and do it serious. So I really I called Chris, I said, I really want to try and focus on one, like really focus on a design. And he was like, yeah, go for it, man. Like, I think it's a good idea. Try it out. And so, you know, we did. And then we went to Blade Show with a 3D printed version of it and the CAD drawings and started walking around talking to people with it and stuff like that. And I mean,
there it is.
Eventually, this is where, you know, it turned into it created into something real. And
awesome.
And now we've got prototypes through Best Tech, and we're right around the corner from placing our production order on it. I've got 3 quotes coming back for OEM number 2 for our second design, which is pretty wild. Just in my mind, it's pretty wild where we're at now. So it's kind of like, it's really cool that we're doing this. And on top of that is the community here has kind of really embraced us and handled things with it really cool. So it's been a lot of fun, and you know, it's awesome. So TJ,
I've seen a little bit. Are you selling those under your name, the Wyvern Kodiak? That's what it's going to be.
These ones will be
OEMing, but it's going to be a Wyvern Kodiak.
Yeah, so this is a straight OEM. So we've got to pay the knives out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and then we do have some collaborations rolling. We've got one with Concept. We've got a couple other ones brewing right now. One which is going to shock everybody, I think, a lot. And that one is I'm keeping everything close to the chest until I've signed the contract. Once the contract's signed, I'll tell everybody who it is, but I can't show anybody the knife, right? That's the thing. Once I make a contract with them, that knife is theirs at that point.
Yeah. Of course.
So I can't show that to anybody, but what I can do is I can say, "Hey, I do have a collab with this company," and I'll tell folks when that happens,
Yeah.
and it's going to be
You-
it's pretty wild. So
Hey, Scott?
Titanium Justin, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you. Gunmetal James, I see you. Thanks, man.
What's up,
Thanks for
Titanium
coming in.
Justin?
Hey, Scott,
J1 Doobie.
when you do a lot of your own stuff, but I know that you did a collab with Kubi,
Got
right?
a couple of them.
Yeah, so
Three of them now. Okay.
How does that work on a fixed blade scenario? Did you have to? The Thorn is the one that I was familiar with. Well, nice.
So that's
I love those
the
scales.
bloom. That's the
Is that
bloom with the basically it's burlap micarta.
Micarta, gotcha.
That one. There's the thorn.
That's what I was familiar with. Yeah.
Nice. And then the last one that just came out was the rock hopper.
I love that.
I love the rock hopper. That's just my blade shape right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a fixed blade scenario, I know like when we're starting to look, you've got to do things like, okay, well, we may have to move the stop pins. We've got to figure out the locking, all the balance and blah, blah, blah. On a fixed blade, what is there much of the design aspect that you lose control of when it goes to them? Do they make many changes? I mean,
it depends. When I sent them the bloom, I sent them a full 3D rendering of what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically what it looked like. All they did, obviously the steel choices and the handle materials all on Kubi. That was whatever they wanted to do. You have no control over that when you're releasing a collaboration design with them. But I will say when I sent them the pictures of the thorn and the rock hopper, they did take some liberties, and they did send me some renderings of some of the changes that they did based on the original design. Mm-hmm. And I liked what they did. They made that little cutout right up in here, and then like the little swedge up here on the blade as well. They added that swedge on the blade, which normally I don't do on mine. But these couple things that they did, that was their changes. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. You can go ahead with that. The rock hopper was a bigger change as far as what mine looks like. My handles looks a little bit different. But I liked what they did. I was pleasantly surprised with the change. And I like how they did it. Now, normally I do a sharpening choil and this little area right here, so your finger's not next to the cutting edge. But they did the full sharpened edge on the rock hopper, which I'm fine with because you're still here and you're not really that close.
Yeah, you're behind it,
and you're probably going to hold it like this most of the time when you're doing your cutting anyway, which you're not going to be anywhere near that edge. So it kind of depends. If you have a full fletched out design and everything is done, then they'll stick to that. And it depends on the company. I do have I have a collaboration with Concept coming out, and but that won't be until 2027.
That's looking like ours is going to be the same thing. They're just so backed up. I mean, we signed our contract with Concept October of 25, and I was told that they are running almost 2 years out. So
that's basically what I was told too.
On the Edge, how's it going, buddy? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
I was told that when I had talked to some people that I was going to work with Concept, or I was thinking about it, and they're like, "Well, just be patient because they're just really slow getting stuff out," which is fine. But I've already kind of talked about it, that this is the design that they are going to collaborate with me on. So I'm interested to see what they do with it.
That's cool. I like that.
Very nice.
I just finished this one, guys, and it is available.
There you go. If anybody's interested, pick that up.
With Bolivian rosewood. So that's Bolivian rosewood, brass pins, and 80 CRV2 steel.
Where could that be purchased?
You can message me on Instagram, or you can email me right now. I'm selling. I used to have the Etsy store, and I'm kind of going away from that. So I'm just doing private sales right now. So Instagram, message me on Instagram, and that
Is
be
that
yours.
and that's Kydex all the way, right? It's just the brown, so it doesn't. Okay,
Yeah, it's
I saw that.
it's raptor skin Kydex. So it's
That's
actually
cool.
Kydex, but it almost looks like leather. It almost has kind of a leather look to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard the retention without being able to see it clearly, and I was like,
Byron?
"That's not leather." Yeah, but it
Yeah,
looked leather.
Matt Maurer.
You can hear the snap.
Let's see. Am I missing anybody?
I try my best with the sheaths.
Mhm.
I try my best doing the sheaths. It's not my
Well,
favorite
so
thing to do.
I think he's in right now, but we had Clayton from Fire Hardened Blades on last week,
Yep.
and I asked him the same question. Is yeah, man, he does awesome stuff.
Help with
But
gadgets.
Oh yeah, he does awesome. Clayton does some amazing, and he's forging, so that's a completely different skill set than what I'm
Mama
doing.
Loot. How's it going, Mama Loot?
Loot.
Sever.
More muscle.
What's up, Derek? Can't wait to hang out with you in Texas, man. It's going to be absolutely off the hook, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that, buddy. Yeah, so real quick, just so everybody knows, I know usually we kind of go until the all hours of the night, but I am flying out to Texas tomorrow. I will be at Blade Show, so if anybody in here is going to Blade Show, find me. I'd love to hang out. I'd love to meet you. Going to bring the prototypes, so we'll put that in your hand if you are going to be there. Really looking forward to meeting a lot of people. But we're not going to go super late tonight because I need to get the beauty sleep so that I can actually function tomorrow and travel and not fall asleep in an airport somewhere and miss my flight. So just letting you all know. But yeah, otherwise, we are really looking forward to being able to put some of these in folks' hands, and
that's awesome.
Looking forward to meeting all of you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us tonight.
That's awesome. How much work did you guys put into that folder with 3D printing and doing all of that? Because the reason I ask is because I actually have a folder design that I can't really say too much on. I'm shopping it around, and I have a company that is interested. It's gotten through like the first tier of interest, and it's going to be pretty awesome if that goes through.
Nice.
I was told I would heard something this month, so I'm trying to be patient without bothering them, because I don't like bothering companies, but sometimes you got to poke the bear a little bit and be like, hey, what's going on with this?
Yeah. So my first one, I'm the drawer of us two, right? So the way we kind of operate is I usually work with Chris to come up with ideas, designs, influence of what's going to come out on paper. And then as a partial insomniac, through the middle of the night, I send about 800 text messages to Chris so that he can wake up in the morning and see all my work that I've done. And then
it's facetious. It's only about 600. Yeah.
No, he goes silent, and I'm probably the reason for that.
He has you on a timer.
he will then unpack everything that I've done, and then he starts. Usually, his very first question is, "Well, what's the knife for? What are you trying to accomplish here? What are you cutting with it?" That's been his newest question to me all the time. What are you cutting with it? Right, and that starts to dictate the story, and that starts to tell me if I'm going in the right direction, and then we start to unpack a few other things, and how do we want our and what all that kind of. My first one was crazy. This thing was 90 hours on paper. Just on paper was about 90 hours.
It to get to that point?
It wasn't even to this point. This was the original design was a crossbar lock. Okay. With with inlays that were removable so that you can switch in and out the inlays. And I mean,
Because why not?
okay. In a concept, in a total concept of the knife was actually really cool. Chris, I
Yeah, it
think
sounds
probably
fun.
has a 3D printed version handy, so he could probably show you.
Yeah, that's what I'm grabbing now.
There you go. Hold on, let me blow up the screen so that Scott can see it a little easier. There you go.
Okay.
So,
So,
I mean,
but the overall shape was basically the same.
shape
Yeah,
really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah, we changed the finger choil.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shape itself hadn't changed a bunch. And you know, answering your question directly, Scott, that you had asked is we had hired a guy to do CAD, and we didn't
Okay.
even ask him to do a 3D print. He just showed up with the CAD files and 3D prints and said, "Here you go." And we were like,
That's cool.
"Yeah." So it worked out wonderful. And you know, we could feel it and put it in our hand. Like you said, with your wood, that's
Yeah.
what we did with this. Cause you know, Sam did a really good job of tracing it all out on cardboard and then cutting it out. And that's one thing, but then when you fill it life size, that's a completely different story.
Absolutely. That's like when I'm playing with a design or something else that I want to do, I'll draw it, but I put it in wood. And
Mm,
you know, I have all of these wooden blanks that I have that are turning into designs, and I can
that's
always
awesome.
pull them out if I need to and I can make that knife. And I've played with wondering about like 3D printing all of that up so maybe it lasts a little longer than some of the wood stuff. But I like to be able to, I am such a hands-on person. I like to be able to get it in hand. So
Yeah.
like this folder idea, obviously I haven't been able to get it in hand. So I really don't know what it's going to feel like, how it's going to move. How I want to be able to.
Do
That's
you
why
have access to somebody that has a 3D printer, or do you have a 3D printer?
I don't have a 3D printer. I don't know many people that have
So,
one. I mean, I have the CAD file,
you know
so I
Loot?
guess I could ask.
Do you know Loot?
Loot will do it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I was gonna say if you
Loot.
reach out to him, I'm sure he'd do it and kick it out to you. And he's very reasonably priced on what he does and stuff
Oh, I
like that.
know. He
So
does my CAD work.
yeah, he does ours too now. I mean, so the
He's
guy
awesome.
that did our CAD, he wasn't a knife guy, right? He's not
Yeah.
a knife designer, and so he took an incredibly long time to do what Mark does in days. And
Yep.
so
That's what Mark does.
yeah,
Jeez.
and that's exactly it. So it's a whole lot easier to just go that way and whatnot. So
Yeah.
real quick, Sever got second proto in, didn't have jimping up and around, but did have jimping. So that's awesome, man. You said that they
Excellent.
were going to be in Texas, if I remember right. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. I mean, I got to explore his first proto,
Was it
and
the Katuo? The
yeah,
Katuo one? Yeah.
Katuo's doing it, and
Well, I would
his
hope
first
so.
proto. So first off, let me say it's absolutely awesome, but there were like those little things, like creature comfort things, like there's not a hole through the blade to flick, but there's like a ledged window, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if this was a millimeter deeper, it would be fantastic. Like it's just my fingers just slipping just a little
Couldn't
bit
get
here
in
when I'm
there.
trying, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can get your front flipper to go a little higher and get sharper jimping on it, like this would be fantastic. Like I
Yeah.
said, little creature comforts. And he was like, afterwards, he showed me the list that he sent Katuo, and it was like everything that I'm telling him is exactly what he's like telling them. And I was like, that's awesome. We're very much in tune with this. So I've seen some pictures and video of the new ones, and it looks remarkably better as far as
That's
you can
awesome.
see on that. So
Yeah, I
it's
look
really cool. I'm
forward
excited for
to
him.
checking that out.
Yeah,
I
it's
am.
gonna be good.
It's so exciting to get your stuff out
Yeah.
there. Like I know when those 3 Kubies were being released and that kind of stuff, I was really excited about. It's one because it's. I mean, it's also cool because I'm still making them, so
Mhm.
like I can make it, but then for people to go buy it in public and to see it in people's hands or people send pictures of it, that's what's
Oh,
awesome.
sure.
That's just
Plus, you got a
amazing.
major manufacturer backing the project, so I mean
Yeah.
that's obviously really cool. I mean that's a vote of confidence in and of
You-
itself. So, at
well,
Lakeside, I'm not going to. First off, we only have a couple of the 3D printed ones, so I'm not going to sell 3D printed versions. The other thing is, I don't have a paid table or booth in Blade Show, so I'm not able to sell anything. They will ban you. They will throw you out. I've got to be careful just in showing my prototypes to make sure that I'm not looking like I'm soliciting anything while I'm there because I don't want to get tossed from the show. So I hear you. It's maybe down the road or something like that. We'll put out some sort of project 3D thing or something like that. Like Spyderco has like the wood ones that the kids like and stuff.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I
That's
bet you
fun.
there's money to be made, and it's probably not a large investment. But I'm gonna stay out of trouble at least the best I can in Texas. I don't want to come back with horror stories.
Hey, Scott, for your folder, I know you like to on your fixed blades. They're small and mighty, right? What does your folder look like? Is it very concealable as well, or is it a larger?
Yeah, it's
Josh.
it's roughly about that. I think it's like a 3-inch blade. I forgot the actual dimensions off the top of my head. I've just kind of like this company's had it for a couple months now, and I've kind of like tried to forget about it. And if
Yeah.
something happens, something happens. If they turn it down, then I'll go to somebody else. I'm sure
Yeah.
if I went to Kubi with it, they would do it, but I was kind of looking to work with some other companies because I've done now 3 blades with Kubi, who are great. They do amazing product, and they're OEMing a ton of stuff out there. All of KC's,
All
most of
KC's, a
KC's
ton
stuff
of
is for
lefties,
Kubi,
yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
all done. I mean, all of his knives are done very, very well. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there's no doubt that they could do a good job with it. I also am not looking to OEM because I just don't have the funds to back a project like that, because there's so many other things that people don't realize you have to come up with
Oh, yes.
with that, with packaging and all the other little things you're going to offer in that box and everything else. I mean, there's a lot involved. So and I got enough going on with the knives that I'm actually making. I can't be
No,
juggling
it's
that.
not it's not
Yeah.
for it's not easy to do for sure. I think as far as OEMs go, I mean, Chris and I have kind of talked about limiting how many we do just because of the financial backing that it takes.
It's a lot.
But I mean, right now, so project one is obviously, I mean, we're going with best tech. I mean, we're figuring all that stuff out. We don't even know the final bill of what that's going to be yet because tariffs play a part in it, and then if we decide to pre-order, figuring out how many warranty packs we're going to need.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff plays in, and it's just it's like a boat, right? Bust out another 1,000. So it's pretty insane with that, but yep, you were speaking of the devil before. There's Donnie Bless. What's
There
up,
he is.
Donnie?
Donnie Bless. What's up?
Look at
Ground Fog.
Cy.
What's up, man?
Check
So
out Sever's comment too.
which one?
He was asking a question. It was scrolling through. Sorry.
Preferred
What is
deployment
the
method
pre-offered
on a
deployment
folder?
method of the fixed blade maker? So what's your preferred deployment method? That's
It really
what he's asking.
depends. It really depends on the knife. So here's an example. I just had the microbes here in the pass round. We have the 2 microbes that are going around. One of them has the hole. One of them has the thumb studs. I like the opening hole, but on that knife, I felt the thumb studs just function better than the hole. It's also a small knife, so I like the thumb studs, but then on some knives, I prefer the hole. So I'm not a big front flipper guy either. I could do it, but I'm not like I can't do the
That's
index
the Thunder
thing.
Beast right there, no?
Yeah, it's the Thunder Beast.
I'm waiting for that to get around to me and pass around, man. I just
Yeah.
got rid of the Xeno and sent it to KC. That thing was sweet.
Yeah, I think I had it before you, but
Yeah.
this is like the larger version of the Xeno. So if you liked the Xeno, this is just a little bit bigger than that. So, but
Nice.
yeah, for
Yes, please.
deployment, it really depends on the knife. Really kind of depends on the knife. And I'm not super picky with that too. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm not. But I
Yeah.
like thumb studs, or if it's a hole, I'll use the hole too. It
I'm with
really
you.
depends.
I mean, there's a few knives, most knives I don't particularly like just a regular flipper tab, right? Rear flipper. It's not my thing. But there are a couple that I actually do like. Okay. I mean, case in point here is the Machine Wise Mojave, right? It has a flipper. I like the flipper on this one, right? But the detent on this thing is so dialed in money that I absolutely just I can't get enough of this knife. But a lot of them I don't care for. I like thumb studs, and you had mentioned what was it? The micro that has the
The
hole
microbes,
or the thumb
like
studs.
you can choose the microbes, the Kaiser microbe, the little small one.
Mm-hmm.
They had two versions, so you can either get the opening hole or the thumb studs on it.
So they're doing the same thing with like the porcupine now, right? They have the
Yeah.
hole or they have the thumb studs. I had the whole version. Chris had the whole version. We got the thumb stud version in the pass around. I tell you what, I want a thumb stud version. I think the action is
Yeah.
actually better on that than the whole one. And
Agreed.
typically, I'm like you. I
It
prefer a
depends.
whole method usually more.
Yeah.
But in that case, I think that one's a better fit. So
And I also kind of go towards multiple opening methods. So like I'm not really crazy about flipper only designs, but like you held up that one that's dialed in, then that's probably the way to go. And
yeah,
the only one I have sitting here that would do it is like this, the Elementum, but the original Elementum. But
heck yeah.
it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't fidget as much as I used to, but
I fidget worse than ever, man. I'm like, I have like you know, how many times. So there was a live a few weeks ago that I was on, and my father actually had to send me a text message while I was on the live to tell me to stop because all you hear through the microphone is click clack, click clack, click clack. So I mean, like I can't stop. I do
yeah.
it at work all the time. And like, I mean, they're so used to it now. My team's used to it. My boss is used to it. He's just like, they've just accepted the fact that it's like a nervous twitch for me. So
Well, yeah, and
I,
I'll do it too. I have, when I'm in public, it's like I'll reach into my pocket and I'm like, you can't
nope, you
do
can't
that
do that
here.
here.
You can't sit in the middle of the grocery store and start flicking a knife. You can't do that.
so
And you got
Autism.
man,
Oh, you got one of those. Ah,
yeah, I forget. Is it the Rivalry Zero? Or I think I forget. But
I think
man,
I know what
Justin
you're
would
talking
know.
about. I've
I'll
been
tell you
seeing
what.
those.
Erica's just like you can see her face just coming over slowly. She's trying to watch TV, and I'm just flipping this as fast as I can. Get on the couch.
Hey, David, welcome in.
I used to have it on the couch too. If I got a new knife in to pass around or something, I would just sit there on the couch, and my wife would just kind of be like, "Really?"
Paul the Good Mills. Yeah,
and now
my
I'm
wife
better.
doesn't let me sit there and flick on the couch. She gets so aggravated because she's always listening to audiobooks and then she's got one ear out so that she can hear me or my kid or the dog or whatever getting into trouble. And then all of a sudden it's click, click, and she'll be like, nope, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I've switched to click pins. They're quieter, but I can still move.
Those are bad too. I have one that I play with, and I used to at work. I'd be like, currently
that's
flicking
hysterical.
a Delica.
Oh
Well,
my
yeah.
gosh. So so you've got a folder that you're in the works for, which is, fingers crossed. And you know what, man? If it doesn't work out, I mean, I don't know. Have you shopped it a lot, or is this like the first one that you've kind of approached, or I don't know what your story is behind that
This
one.
was the first company I approached. The first company, Yeah, this is the I approached one company with it, and it made it through the first tier, and now it's going to the design team for them to check it out. So it didn't get shot down immediately, and if this goes through, it'd be pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll tell you, if for some reason I don't know, I haven't seen the design. I'm not betting against you or anything on this one because I'm probably fairly certain it's a heck of a good design from you. But if for some reason it doesn't, prepare yourself for Blade Show with it. And the best thing I think the best thing Chris and I were able to do was be able to actually have the conversations that we did. I mean, when we went in there, the initial idea was to get a collaboration for this. We never really considered an OEM. But after talking through everything, it became, I want us to be a brand, and it's hard to be a brand when you're behind every other brand. And so it was let's do it ourselves. Let's make it ourselves. Let's brand it ourselves, and let's just own the process, right? We don't have to do it on every one of them, but if we do 2 a year, let's say, right? If the first one doesn't go off, the second one doesn't get funded, right? Everything has to be predicated on the success of another model. And then everything else becomes collaboration. So my goal this year is to score 2 collaborations, 2 OEMs. And then next year, we'll see. I mean, we'll see where it goes from there and kind of unfold. But Blade Show, because you have access to all these people, like last year, I remember going to Kaiser's booth and talking to one of their lead design guys. His name is, he goes by Neo. And I remember asking him, putting the 3D printed model in his hand, and he said, well, how it works is you put in for it, they go through this, and then when it goes to the design team, they basically vote on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll back you on this. So if you submit for a collaboration, I'll back you for design. And it was like, okay, that's what I need. I need somebody that's got an influence on the inside. So I think for any reason yours doesn't roll in your favor, I think that's a good opportunity for you to talk to people and be able to kind of explain your vision and stuff like that, because there's a person behind the drawing, right? And if they get to know them, a lot of times these people will attach a little bit more. They're really genuinely pretty good. So
that's one of the goals for Blade Show. Like, people are like, oh, are you gonna have a booth? And I'm like, no, I do not want to be tied to a table.
No.
The Jake show.
No.
That's where I get confused, because I get into the maker side and I think I'm just gonna bring my knives, and it's I want to talk about my knives that I'm making, but I also want to talk about maybe getting some other production stuff out there. And I have like 20 something fixed blade designs that I crank out.
So
different
when we
sizes.
had it just kind of dawned on me, so forgive me, I'm kind of going a little off like a squirrel here, but September there's a knife show in Orlando called Ancient City something.
Ancient. It's like, I don't remember the name of it. It's like a maker show, I think. Or so that's going to be in like the Kissimmee area, I believe. So that's not far from me. I'm definitely going to be.
No, I was going to say you're on the west side, so no, that would be all right for you. I mean, if you were to think about getting any table, I think a show like that would be more ideal for you, right?
There's a small knife show too over in Lakeland that I went to in January, and that's where I have a bunch of friends that have tables. And if I really wanted to do a table, that's where I would do a table. The thing with that is I can usually sell my knives fairly quickly. So, and I have such a great following with the people online that, if I say, okay, guys, I have these 2, they're available, let me know. Then usually within a couple days, I'll have I just sold 3 of these. I just sold 2 of the 3. This is the only one left. The
Yeah.
the lone bloom.
So
That's good looking.
the unprofessional dad, I got to see the one that you made for him, and
Yeah,
that
the
blue.
spike.
And I mean, I got all starry eyed. I'm not gonna lie. We're actually going down. So we're doing a big meetup in Indiana, April 11th. So if anybody in here is within a reasonable driving distance to southern Indiana and wants to come hang out on April 11th, from 12 to 6, we're going to go there. We're renting a conference room at a hotel, and we're all just going to go in there and like show our knives off and just kind of
That's
hang
awesome.
out and talk for a while.
Might
And
as well call it Louisville. It's
Louisville.
it's just on the other side of the river.
Yeah,
so.
it's right on the border. But
meetups are such a good time. I did one here last year, and it was such a blast. Kelly's Mishmash came, and Chris Warris, War Room EDC, and Jimmy Crow made a drive down.
Wow. Jimmy's going to be there. So Jimmy's in Indiana. He's in Bloomington, which is, like an hour south of us. And so we're going to be meeting up there. There's going to be Faithful is going to be there. So
awesome.
He's actually pretty close to me. He's not close. He's not far from me. I think he's like a half hour from me. So
he drove all the way down here to come.
That's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to doing it. I'm really looking forward to hanging out. And I already told Chris, you got to bring the Aries blade. I got to check it out because, obviously I want to support the community, right? So, I mean, the guys that make knives and the guys that put out knives and stuff like that, I of course want to try and buy one and make, buy them to support. But at the same time, I haven't had a lot of fixed blades. Like I've always been a folder guy for the most part. I have a few decent or nice fixed blades, but I would absolutely love to get my hands on a couple of like really good, handmade, true custom fixed blade stuff. So like Clayton was on the show last week, right? Burning Stables, right? I told him I got to get one from him. I want to get one from you as well. And I'd love to. I don't want a big blade, right? Like I see so many fixed blades where they're like here, and I'm like, I don't need a machete. I just a little EDC fixie is great.
Not my thing. I see no need in something that big. Like I said, my introduction to small fixed blades was that. Yeah. So, and I actually got to meet Alan Foltz, which is cool. He's a cool guy. He's a really nice guy. But I want something that's small. I want something that's easy to carry. Either you're carrying it on your belt and you forget it's there. You don't want it sticking out or hanging on you. I carry appendix right side draw right on the front of my belt. People don't even know I have a knife. I'll be at work and I'll be like, just take out the knife, and they're like, well, where'd you pull that from? And I'm like, it's right here. Just because most of my stuff is small and what you need it for on an everyday basis, you don't really need. My opinion, 100%. You get like a 2-inch, 2.5-inch blade for everyday use.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's ample.
Yeah, that's a nice thin handle. You can get it and it will do the job. Or people usually like that one.
That's the one that I like. Yes, sir.
Little custom file work.
Hold on. Let me blow the screen up a little bit. I got yes.
Add to cart.
Add to cart is right, Chris.
It has
gorgeous.
glow in the dark liners and pins.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that stonewash? Did you stonewash that?
Yeah, it's acid
wash.
Tumbled.
Yeah.
It's acid etched and tumbled. This is Nitro V, I think. Yeah, I think this is Nitro V. But yeah, I did the custom file work on it, and yep.
Can we have a quick steel discussion?
Sure.
Why do you choose the steels that you choose?
I choose those steels for a couple reasons. Number one, they're readily available. They're great steels to work with, but I can, I have 3 vendors that I usually use, online vendors, and all 3 of them have those steels, and they're reasonable priced. Number one, they're easy to work with, or easier to work with. You got me
Derek
on
always has an
cartoon
ask, right?
controversies and
He's always got an interesting angle of an ask, just so
I
you
know.
know.
Add a harpoon onto that, and it's on something on there. He wants something to add. There you go.
He just likes different. I mean, his design language.
Oh
As soon
yeah,
as I
no,
see a
it's
knife, I can tell you if it's a Derek
very
style knife.
linear.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But for me, for steels, like I've worked with Magna Cut, and I've worked with LMAX, and I've worked with some other steels, and when in the raw form, because I'm working mostly pre-heat treat,
Yeah.
you're not. I'm not running into a lot of issues because I'm pretty honest with everything that I can pretty much do everything in the making of the process except for the heat treat of stainless steel. Just because there's so much involved with that, and I don't have a heat treating kiln yet. One day that's the next big thing. I'm going to start doing that, and I can do my own heat treating. But AEB-L and Nitro V are a good steel for a small fixed blade. They're not heavy use blades. They're not designed to go batoning in the woods someplace, but they're heat treated to 61 HRC by Peters Heat Treat. Each one of my knives, if you're getting a stainless blade, I get one of these pieces of paper back from Peters. And if you get a stainless blade from me, you get a copy, and it says what the final hardness is.
Oh,
So
cool.
like
Nice.
the final
Very
hardness
nice.
is 61 on AEB-L. So
Yeah.
you're at a great HRC by Peters, and they test every single blade that comes back. So it's there's no everything is right there.
Yeah.
And so, and if, like I said, if some of these really crazy steels, they're hard to get and they're really, really expensive. I did Pop's Pro Cut. That was a new one that came out that everybody was jumping on, but you can only get it one place. And if they don't have the size that you need, you're not getting it.
Yeah. It's interesting because Robert just said he loves, I think it was Robert said he loves ABL, and what was the other one I
I
saw?
think it was Ramsey's. He said he loved the
Rings
ABL and 1095.
and 1095.
Right?
Yeah.
And 1095 is like a tried and true carbon steel that's been
Yeah.
used forever. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not, it's not a stainless, but so many makers are making real, and I've done a bunch of blades in 1095 myself too. So
Yeah.
I've just kind of gone away from it. 80 CRV2 is a really great steel as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sam and I were having a conversation in chat earlier today, going back and forth and trying to define what is a super steel. Yeah, because for me, it's what do you prioritize, and then now you find what that is. Do I prioritize toughness and edge stability, and or do I or is it corrosion resistance
yeah, depends what you
and
need it.
yeah,
And Chris and I are very different in that, because for me, my prioritization is I'm not a hard use knife user, right? Open up some Amazon boxes and the pass around group packages and stuff like that. And so for me, it's that. And I like corrosion resistance. I grew up on the East Coast. So I grew up not far from the ocean. Corrosion resistance is important to me in that sense. I
Yeah.
know I'm not there anymore and I'm in the middle of the country, but
Still.
for me, I don't want to think about having to oil my blades. I don't want to have to think about that stuff. It's, wipe it, shove it back in wherever it is and be done. And so that's why I love Vanex steel so much. Like Vanex is my cream of the crop. And that's what, that's what these are. Our knives
Are
come
they?
in Vanex.
That's cool.
So,
well,
but
and
at the same time, it's basically the most expensive steel you can get when it comes to OEMing a knife,
and
with
and
the exception of maybe Magnamax.
Yep.
And I was looking, I look at things from the perspective of what is the intent of the design and how could it potentially be used and what do we want to achieve with that.
Yeah.
And it's like earlier today we were talking about one. I was like, I want it super slicey. I want to use crewware, and again, I know Sam is huge on corrosion resistance. So I was like, well, we'll do crewware and then we'll buy a bunch of blade wax from Clayton and we'll supply that to, everyone as well. We'll give them a little thing to take care of their blade and off we go. And so but again, it's how do you define what a super steel is? And I personally think it's really prioritized around what's easiest to produce large scale for the manufacturers, and then they broadcast out what they want us to have.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with a couple makers who pride themselves on really high HRC numbers, like 65 to 68 HRC on some of the blades that they're working for and working with. And me and him had a laugh. He's like, I don't know why I do it. I do it just to say that I can do it, because most people that get the knife are never going to use that steel to the boundary for which they are designed. Most people are knife people, and they say, look at what I have. I have this knife that's blah, 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 super steel. Look at it. It's 68 HRC. And I'm going to open this Amazon package with it. So it's like,
if I have to use anything heavy, I'll go get a cheap knife and use that to cut it.
Yeah, and that was part of the conversation too. He was like, I have this knife, and he's like, but nah, I'll go grab a razor blade to do any of the heavy cutting with it.
I'm going to go buy knives, bring my Milwaukee fast back out.
It's designed to do it, but they don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, and so at the end of the conversation, and trust me, I think this is a conversation that Chris and I, and something that I actually said to him, I said, I'm grateful that we had this conversation, because I think this is what highlights what Chris and I partner like. Okay. I start the visions, I start to create something, and then he begins to draw me into a direction, or how to pull me onto a track where I actually can focus on something where I'm taking a design a certain way. And then when we're talking to OEMs, or we're talking to knife collaboration companies, we start to think, hey, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? And that's when Chris's value comes in, because he's really my steel guy, right? He's my metallurgy expert as he is, and because he knows a heck of a lot more about this stuff than I do. And so, that's kind of how we operate a lot of times, is he focuses on what's the use for, and then my focus is how do I make this come to life. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's funny, because I'll pay a lot of attention to the smaller little things that he doesn't think about from a design perspective a lot of times, right? So a lot of times I'll point something out and I'll be like, yeah, but this is going to interrupt this. And then he's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, you see? And he's like, yeah, don't do it that way. And then he starts to realize what's new. So we've got a pretty interesting working relationship when it comes to something like that, and it works well for us, I think. In that sense,
it's good that you can bounce that off of each other.
Chris and I were very close friends long before this business thing ever kind of created. And if this never worked out, then you know what, we'd still be great friends. I mean, that's not going to change or anything like that. I think it's funny, but Chris and I have found like a kindred spirit in each other. We both kind of think alike and have a similar sense of humor and stuff. And our wives like to tell us that we're both 12-year-olds in man bodies all the time and stuff. Nothing like that. No, not at all. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. And Chris has to drag me back into reality sometimes, right?
But it works both ways, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Sam's got an extreme sense of urgency. Like, he wants it now. Like, we went to Blade Show last June. How come we don't have 6 prototypes out already? What, why is this moving so slow? And me, I'm just the opposite. I'm like, man, if we get a knife out by 2030, look at us go. So we're a really good balance, there. And I think
I know I drove Kubi crazy when this was in production because I wasn't getting updates and they gave me a deadline and they went way past the deadline and I was like, what's going on? And I just want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick side note, folks, while it's here and so I don't let it pass by. Waffle for benefit Blade Walker.
Yes.
If you guys don't know, and there's a raffle here going on for this, and reach out to the folks here on the screen, Jimmy Crow, or if you have questions, Blue Naughty, which by the way, hi Blue.
Factor.
Yeah, it's for a great cause. It's for helping our boy here. So support Blade Walker if you can. Every little bit helps. I appreciate everybody. In case you guys weren't a part of the auction the other night, I was grateful that they included me in on this. I was brought on to kind of help save the day because DVD wound up having some internet issues and whatnot, so they wanted some help there, and grateful that I was allowed to be included. But I think the total number was near $5,000 raised that night.
Awesome.
I donated a few knives, a couple of T-shirts and stuff like that to the mix there, which I think my stuff total auction was like $430 towards everything. So, it's for such a good cause. Blade Walker's always been a great dude and a big part of the community. So if anybody can help, please do. We all appreciate it. We want to support him, make sure that he gets the things that he needs to stay healthy, get healthy, things like that. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah, just going back to our conversation on this. So the second OEM, we wanted to go with S45. And what we found was that the companies are coming back to us and saying, we can't get S45 right now. Like, it's just not available. Kubi can, but the other two can't. So I said, all right. So I went to Chris and I said, all right, well, we're having a problem here. So they were quoting me for S35 instead. And I was like, but I'm not envisioning S35 for this blade. And the reason why is because this thing is just a totally different animal than this first knife. Our second design is like a major step up in design. It's a very intricate design. Let's put it this way. Loot told me that I was a little bit crazy with what I was doing. We had to like reinvent how we do inlays and stuff like that just to make the whole design work. It was pretty cool. And we got it to work. And it's really awesome. But the thing was that it's next level. And because it's next level, I want to make sure that we're putting out something primo on there. And Chris was like, well, crew wear or maybe 3V. And I was like, no. It's not my steels.
It has to speak to the community and the audience that you're shooting for too.
Yeah.
That's where I miss.
It has to be somewhat familiar to them.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And so Chris and I we went back and forth. And then at the end, what we've come up with is, we're going to price out several other ones, right? So I asked for prices on LMAX. I asked for prices on S90V. I've asked for prices on M390 just in case they don't have the other ones. It's not my preference, but it is what it is. So
there's an awful lot of comments saying they like crew wear.
True.
I told you I would be happy to price crew wear, but crew wear does not speak to me.
You guys you haven't seen the design, so it has to fit.
It's a semi stainless. So which again, corrosion resistance is your number one. But again, for the design, I feel that edge stability needs to be the most important thing that we have here. The most important thing needs to be, will people buy it? Secondly, then it's how do we, and I think that Crewwear is the next best option for it. S35 is actually a better fit than S45 for what we're trying to do, but S45 has the notoriety behind it that people will.
There's a missing element. There's a missing element to this too, and that is in OEM world you have the minimum order quantities, right?
Yes.
And so you have on one part, if you order, we'll just go from two different extremes. Let's say I want to order my knife in S90V or M390. They consider that premium steel. So my order requirement is only 300 knives. But if I order 14C28N, or if I order something that's not considered that, it's 600.
You
So
have
now
you have a minimum of 600 you have to purchase.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now my risk becomes a problem, because now I'm going to have to deal with unloading 600 knives instead of 300 knives, right? So cost-wise, it'll probably be comparable at the end, maybe a little bit more expensive for the actual lower budget one because you have to take more, but not to an extreme. But at the end of everything, I'm still responsible for twice the quantity then. And so I think I would rather go with a premium steel to worry about having to sell less of them to make the same value out of it for the next one. And I could always place a second order for those knives, right? Heck, if they sold out in 5 minutes, I could turn around and say, hey, there's a high demand here. Let's order another 300. No problem. But 600, if I sell 300, I'm like, crap, I still got 4 boxes of them sitting over here and I can't get rid of them now. So
and it's interesting because again, with the way that I prioritize, 14C is premium to me, right? Because it's super stainless, super durable. I think the same way about Nitro V. I think that I would much rather have either of those two steels than S90V 100 out of 100 times for how I use.
And that's very fair. But from a business standpoint perspective, of how many you have to order, if that was the situation at hand, we have to make logic out of that. And that's really where I was going with that earlier was I don't want to pull on the risk of having to deal with that. Crewwear, you made a good point earlier that I didn't really think about. Crewwear is harder to come by with that. If they did, chances are they'd probably be willing to do a 300 order on that. But 3V, I know for a fact they do not consider that a premium steel in that sense. 154 cm, and half the companies. So S35 is the line in the sand that it falls on either side. So some companies consider S35 to be premium, and some companies don't.
Yeah. And you're going to be if you're going to have 14C versus S90V, you're at 2 totally different price points on the blade either.
Sure, absolutely.
So that's all wrapped up.
Absolutely.
Even if
pricing it out,
you're selling 600 at a lower price point than the 300 at a higher price point.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't mind stropping or sharpening a knife. So for me, I would much rather have a knife that is less likely to have the edge damaged than the one that I have to sharpen a little bit more often. So I would much rather have a tougher steel or a steel that has a better edge profile than one that is a little bit, might be hard and it might be chippy. So
sure. I don't disagree.
I'm not saying. And I'm not saying anybody's wrong for that other decision, right? Because you know what? I don't cut all day long. If I had to stop and sharpen 3 times a day, then I might change my mind completely.
There is a reason why there's 400,000 different choices out there for what knife you want to carry today, right?
Yeah.
So, nobody should be able to ever say that there isn't one for them somewhere to be made. It's just from a business perspective, that's where the challenge is. You got to make the decision that's logical for the business on that. So, down the road, if Chris, if we were 4 or 5 knives into our journey here, and we had a better understanding of what our base looks like and what we sell and stuff like that, this decision would have been a heck of a lot easier for us, right? Because
Yep.
we have true data to go by.
Yep.
We haven't launched our first one yet. We're prototyping a second one. It's awfully hard for us to make that choice just yet without data.
Yeah.
So,
agreed completely.
We will get there, buddy. We will get there.
Just go Damascus and just call it a day.
Well, the question is whether or not it's real Damascus or whether or not they turn around and hence sell us some lasered crap.
Yeah, we're gonna roll it on with a paintbrush.
There you go.
That's
nice
Damascus
stuff right there.
And that's good looking.
Damascus. Some Alabama Damascus.
Nice.
Or get some Clayton Damascus.
Is what you had there? Is that Nichols? Is he out of Alabama?
No, this is actually the company is called Alabama Damascus.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was at a night show and I picked up a couple bars, so I'm going to be
Mr. Robert. Pakistani Damascus is a no-go, sir.
Pakistani Damascus. No, I got that's
you've been shopping that. Right, you've been shopping that Sheila network again with what's his name with Tri-State again.
Yeah.
No. So Scott, what's I meant to ask you earlier, and I apologize. The crazy kind of gets going with the chat here. How's your cat doing, man? I know you had some issues with the kitty.
Yeah, things aren't looking good for her.
Sorry, man.
We had some extra tests done, and the C word has been dropped. So we're just kind of making her as comfortable as possible, getting some other tests done to see if that's actually what it is or not. But so it's sad because that's my girl. That's out of all the cats. Like just tonight, I'll sit on the couch and she'll just curl up next to me and get belly petsies and everything else. And we pulled her and the other cat out of the woods behind the house, declawed, just dumped. No ways to defend themselves. And so we brought them in. We gave them a good home, and it's sad, but it's a bummer.
Man, that is tough. That's tough. Really, really tough, man. I definitely understand. It's a bummer.
It sucks. It sucks right now. But I got to go in and see her before I go to bed. But she'll be fine, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, she's not fine, and she's in pain and everything else, a lot of swelling, and that's all right. We're gonna get through it. We make her as comfortable as we possibly can. I don't know. We're still getting, like I said, we're still waiting for some test results to come in, so we'll see. See.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's tough.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sorry you're going through that, man. I know pets are your kids too, right? I mean, that's just
And we've had so many. I can't even explain how many animals we've had in this house. Just me with mine. I've sold a lot of my stuff off, but my wife had a bunch of animals, and we've had over 50 to 100 animals in this house at one point, and we're down to very few. But I know a lot of it was me. This room was full. but I have a collective taste in animals, that's for sure.
No, I get it.
As most people know.
You're in Florida, you can get your hands on anything.
No, and I have.
And I have.
Yeah. No, I'm a big reptile person, so this whole room was full. I'll say that.
I'm not a reptile person, so that's all you, buddy. But
yeah, you can have my share of reptiles too.
Yep, mine too. All you. What? I shouldn't say that. I don't like snakes. Lizards don't bother me, man. I'll pick up an iguana or whatever all day, every day. Nope.
I can go get one for you.
You're good right there, man.
I like a good python skin, handle or something like that. But yeah,
That's what I got. I just recently got a boa handled fixed blade from a maker
Nice.
down in Florida.
Nice.
he probably found it in his backyard.
Yeah, my
the
father.
python's running loose.
I don't know where he got it from. I'm assuming that he got it from there. But my father's going hunting for iguana down there, and
that's easy.
which I mean, I don't know. I guess this is a new thing. I know that they're a invasive species or whatever down there now, but so the guy who's doing that, and there was another guy that makes knives and whatnot. And he sent me some pictures of these things and iguana handled knives and stuff. And I was like, well, those are pretty cool looking. And so my father grabbed me one, sent me one, and it's like a boa skin handled knife. It's actually really nice.
Cool.
I'm supposed to have a conversation with the guy. I just haven't had time with everything going on. It's been so crazy. I have to give a guy a call. I actually want to inquire about the knife. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what steel it is. I don't know much about anything. So I want to kind of get to know about it a little bit first. And but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I don't do snakes. I'll do iguanas. I'll pick up little lizards and all that kind of crap. That doesn't bother me. Snakes, that's all you, buddy. You can keep your snake.
I do them all. I do it every.
Nope.
I do it all.
Was that something just growing up that you were attracted to, or
Yeah. And my stepmom was always like, you can never have I was never allowed to own one. So when I finally moved out,
you made up for it.
It was like it was on. So I started breeding, and I was doing a bunch of stuff. Just it was fun. And like before I always were into knives, but not really huge. I was into the snakes and lizards and turtles and all kinds of stuff. So I only have 5 left from this whole room that was full. But
wow, I'll watch like videos. I'll watch videos of guys going and trying to grab pythons out of the Everglades, and I'm just like, what are you thinking? Like, just all of a sudden you'll just see them like dive into the water, come out with this snake that's 3 times bigger than them, and I'm just like, I don't get it.
Nope.
You're in
you stay there. I'll stay here.
Yeah, William says he had a 10-footer.
Yeah, I had 8-foot. I've had a couple 8-foot boas, red tail, and then I had a Dumeral's boa that was about 8 foot too. She was my girl.
Man, I had a little corn snake in my backyard. Okay, when we first moved into this house, I took a hockey stick and had to pick him up and put him in a bucket. We drove him like 3 miles to the house and let him off in a cornfield somewhere. I was like, nope, you ain't gonna live here, man. Nope.
I've produced hundreds of corn snakes.
No,
I've hatched out so many corn snakes you wouldn't even know.
How many times have you been bit?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
I haven't been bit by anything that's venomous, but
sure,
with
that is true.
non-venomous snakes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been bit by
trouser variety.
It's no, Josh, we're not showing those off. That's
this live just went really sideways.
That's a different live stream, my friend.
Yeah, that's not this one.
So a non-venomous snake, even some of your pythons that have larger teeth, you get bit, it doesn't feel good, but it's not going to do anything. That's the worst thing they could do is bite you. And even like a corn snake, I've been bit so many times by corn snakes, and it's just they break the skin. You get a little. It's nothing.
What, like a bee sting, maybe? Yeah.
No, it's not even that. It's just
you
get bit. Yeah, you can feel the teeth, but okay, it's not a big deal. Once it's happened a couple times, it's not something you look forward to. But it's. I had a king snake, Cal King, and he grabbed a hold of my finger. And I guess he was hungry because they're constrictors, so he wrapped around my hand, and I'm just like holding them because he's got my finger, And I was like, he's gonna let go. He'll figure it out like he normally does. But he went up to the tip of my finger and was trying to swallow my finger, and I was like, all right, you can get off now. So you pry him off, but it's not a big deal. People make a big deal about it. If it's not a venomous snake,
Josh's comment, "'Tis but a flesh wound." Yeah,
you have no arms,
alcohol on it. You're good.
Or the movie Road Trip, where unleash the fury.
I like Byron's comment. I have cut myself worse with a knife than I have any of my snake bites. That's for sure.
Yeah, very fair. I almost cut a finger off at Blade Show.
Yeah, that's true. Drop bear.
I hear that story a lot at Blade Show.
so it's funny, and this isn't me busting Chris's chops, right? We had gone to Blade Show, and he had there was the drop bear, right, Chris?
Well, yeah, but that was my second cut. The first one was when I got out that poorly designed MSI from Microtech. And that cut
was just a little nick, right?
But it was right in the center of my palm. So as I dropped it, and by the way, I've got one, but I had to put better scales on it in order to stop it from cutting me. Probably the same scale. Are those OGs? I think I
don't know. This is a Microtech that's what came with them.
Yeah, gotcha. So I had to put some OGs on mine because I kept. But anyway, that's the setup. Is it cut my palm, and I was readjusting almost everything. So the second one was the drop bear, and I don't know what the hell happened. Sam and I were in the hotel room, and I'm going through like the day's haul and playing with the different ones, and then all of a sudden it looked like I
have a towel on. And I'm just about to go into the shower. I'm literally took one step into the bathroom, and all I hear is, "Oh, God damn it!" And I stop and I stick my head out there, and he's holding his hand up like this. And he's pretty bad. And I was like, "Oh shit!"
At least
we've got a bleeder.
Yeah. I mean, it was just gushing from his finger, and I was like, "What the hell did you do?"
I was like, "Quick, Sam, give me your towel."
That's Byron.
You'd like that, wouldn't you, Christopher?
Check out splitting slices or Byron's comment.
Yeah. Moron.
That is quite possible.
But you know what? I saw online afterwards. I saw a lot of people complained about that. There were a lot of different people reviewing the knife that complained that the same thing happened to them.
The full size one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when it closes, it's catching them in the palm?
Yeah, and the carbon fiber, it just doesn't take up much space at all. So as it comes down, man, it's clipping and yeah. I've got it. Like I said, I've got one now, but I put OG scales on it and it fixed the problem. And I'm not a fan of the ram lock. I thought I would love it when I first got it, and it's a little too soft or spongy for my taste. I mean, and now that I've seen a lot of people, I love the shark lock. Yeah. But I've seen a lot of people do reviews after they've had it for a year or two, and that ram wears out awfully quick, and then it creates a lot of spine failure. So I hardly ever carry it.
A buddy of mine had one and he put skiffs in it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different different action. And I need to spend the $20 and get the skiffs bearings for it, because that totally changes everything about the knife. It almost changes the ram lock, because once you pull it, it just closes. I mean, it's just super smooth.
Yeah.
So it did change that entire knife.
They're a little wider too, so the pressure off the scales I could see it making some changes. Not every knife does change, right? But a lot of them do. I change a lot of my knives over because the what are those the bearings that are? I'm trying to think of what they're
Like
called.
the taco bearings.
No, they're
The cage bearings.
They're caged, but they're like in silicone, like the
Like
plastic
like a nylon or
the nylon bearing ones, right? Like they come so gritty that even when you clean them, they're still like you could still feel them.
Feel it rolling.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, I don't want this. I need a smoother feel, so I'll change them out. But then, other companies. I mean, I'll tell you, like this knife here from Best Tech, the Taipan. I mean, this thing is stupid butter.
Nice.
I mean, that thing is absolutely ridiculous. I do have to say, Chris, you have the EMP EDC. Is that the green one, by the way?
Yeah, that's the green one, and I just put skiffs in this one.
Those ones are good too.
That's sweet.
That is this. I just got this in, and this thing is just butter too. I mean,
yeah.
I know it's a Vancore lock. Say what you will, but
I like
the Vancore.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with the Vancore, especially the newer Vancores. They improved them.
And Skiff is making bearings for those now too.
Chris, can you pull up your EMP? I want to see that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man, he did a great job, and it's interesting because when it wasn't doing well, and I cleaned it up, and now, it passed the Sever's test. So
wait, do that again. That detent sound on the lock.
The detent. Oh.
Yeah.
It's sweet, and again, so many different deployment methods. You got the hole, you got the front, you got a rear flipper. Like he did a great job, on this one, and it sounds amazing. John just does a great job with his stuff, and I was telling Sam when I first got it, it didn't have near the action as my first one, but I wanted that green anno, and I bought it, and it wasn't as good of action. I tuned the pivot a little bit, and it still didn't work, and ended up pulling it apart and then putting skiffs in it. It still wasn't great, but then when I cleaned up the detent ball a little bit and put some gunny lube on it, I just changed it completely.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, I have the Nimble X. I didn't get the Tonto version. I wanted the XT, but I mean, look, there's 1,000,001 knives you want. You just can't buy them all. There's just no freaking way. So
I
will say
there's something new coming out tomorrow that you'll want even more. And
but Scott, let me ask you something. And this is, I can tell you that being in the pass around group is like a saving grace because you get your fix, right? You get your fresh fix, you play with something, and then you could pass it along when something new comes in. And it's like you always have a new knife, but you don't have a commitment. And it's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is part of that group too, the raccoon.
That's beautiful.
Like I said, I just had the microbes, and I had a bunch of tenables, and that ever since coming onto that group has been awesome. It's just been. And that has been a godsend because then there's no way.
Bunch of your stuff just got to me today. Did you send me like 4 tenables?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
they just arrived today.
Par, there's a good EDC fixed blade for you. The par, that thing is awesome. It's the Eagle Strike, the par, the entity, and the heron, the tenable heron. That heron is good.
They were all nice. They were all nice knives. But man, it's Lefty always barks at Tenable for having crappy boxes. It's so true. Like I opened them up and like all those boxes.
That's how I got those boxes.
No, it ain't you, man. It ain't you.
How I got those boxes.
That happened the first person that opened them. Because they are terrible boxes.
Things are missing and everything. Tenable's the budget brand, but their stuff is just nice. Their blades are so nice, but yes, their packaging
Silver Trails.
not the greatest.
Yeah.
The boxes are falling apart
Yeah,
and
no,
everything
they're
else.
they're crap boxes. I don't understand it either because boxes are so. Just so you know, I mean, I don't care. I'll disclose this because it's unimportant to me, but I mean, cost for boxes for decent boxes are like $1.50.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay,
For
when
a
you're doing like an MOQ order, the minimum. If I were to order 600, that would go down in price. Okay, like the most money you're going to spend for a decent box is $1.50.
Customized with your logo on it and everything.
Customized with your logo, and they'll put a cleaning cloth in there for you.
Nice.
Okay, so
you
they
gotta
have
tell
Tenable
me
has
who you're
no
going with.
excuse. Tenable has no excuse for poor
Oh
boxes.
no, they don't. Because Concept does I
Yeah,
don't know.
Concepts boxes are
And their boxes
outstanding.
are
Those
fine.
drawer
Yeah.
style boxes that they use are outstanding.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Whatever, man. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not
I don't
gonna
know,
harp on
but
it too much.
I'm hoping because Concept picked up one of my designs. I'm hoping Concept does it and they do the Tenable version of it because it would just
Oh,
be
then you
awesome.
covered. Then you get both. Then you get both crowds. You get the
Yeah.
higher end, and you get the budget. That's
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, Lakeside, that Whiskey Jack. If you're looking for a nice little fixed blade, the Whiskey Jack is awesome. This
That is
is
sweet.
similar, but the Whiskey Jack is even smaller than my Hawk. Which this is the design that's coming out with Concept is the Hawk.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's just simple and clean. I like that look.
Yeah, that's my design style. Is simple and clean. I don't do a lot of bells and whistles and swedges and harpoons and reverse tontos and just simple, clean, useful.
That's
It's
us
everything it
knuckleheads
needs to
that do
be.
that crazy crap.
That's
Well,
fine.
when
There's nothing wrong with it. I like it too, but
That's when you make up your own blade shape, like whatever the heck this is that we've decided to call this. I don't. Did we ever come up with this? A Nest foot something? What did you call
yeah,
this?
the nest.
I forget the name of it that Rob came up with, but I loved it.
Yeah,
It's modified. It's a modified Nestmuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a not modified Nestmuck with a deep hollow, and it's. I mean, we're just there's something wrong with us. I mean,
Yeah, with a drop point that also was a clip point. Right?
Nest foot muck.
Well,
There
that's
you
like
go.
you just go like it's a clip point, right? You
Yeah.
just tilt the blade down. It's a clip point now.
Yeah.
So-
It's interesting.
And then our second design will be Tonto-ish. It's going to be a modified Tonto. So
Like
American,
Tonto?
yeah, it will be a modified American Tonto. So
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds interesting.
it is very unique. It is very different. It's definitely some engineering went into this one that I stretched Lute's poor soul to the outer limits of design to the point where at one point he goes, I just don't think we can do this. And we were honestly to the point where we were starting to rethink things, and I convinced him to give it one more shaking, and we wound up getting it. So, which is really cool because the design in and of itself would be completely different if it didn't have what we wanted in there. That I just think it makes it just stand out. So it's gonna be really cool.
That sounds
Matt
awesome.
Maurer says Tontos are better than everything else.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Tonto guy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm typically not, but there's just something about this that as I started playing with the lines on this thing, it just kind of went together that way. And I mean, the lines just kind of drew themselves eventually. So
if a project speaks to you and that's kind of where you go with it, then you go with it. Sometimes when you're sketching, or I don't know your process, but you just kind of go.
I sketch a little bit and then really, like, it's funny, but people, and I'm sure you probably have all these tools too, right? But I have a big old bag full of my circles, and I have my French curves, and I mean,
You, did you watch the Enzo Designs thing too? The Enzo Design videos that he did?
I did not, but you know, I mean, I have a drafting table that I bought that tilts up,
you're just
and
fancy.
I have a tracing shadow box. So after I draw it, I can print something out. Then I put the original in a folder so that I don't have to worry about it, and then I can trace off of that for the next thing, and then I create layers from there. And
Awesome.
I have an entire architecture kit, essentially, is what I operate off of to that point before I get to send it off to Loot, and then he does his business.
And I have a pencil.
Yeah, but he doesn't ever use the pencil. That's the problem. Is I keep telling him draw something for me, and he doesn't want to do it. So
I have composition books and a pencil.
Yeah.
And then I cut it out, and then I turn it into a knife.
You know, I don't have I can look at something that I would like to change. I can't create off the top of my head, right? There's nothing that I think of that I go, oh, I would like to have this. Instead, what I can do is say, you know, I like the comfort of a PM2 in my hand. I like the way that feels. Yep. And, you know, I like the jimping of, and I like the sliciness of, and, you know, I like the lockup of, and I can do those kind of things. And then, but if I'm saying that to Sam, the next thing I know, I've got a knife that's a hybrid that's inspired by all those things that don't look like any of those things, but will give me the benefit of all those things. And I don't have that same skill set. And then I can do that. And then he does his piece. And then I just look at him and say, well, what are you trying to cut with that damn thing? We start all over again.
Chris.
Well, yeah. And then, you know, people always send me stuff. Like people send me pictures of something and they're like, I would like to do something. And then I come up with something crazy. I'm going to show you guys this. I haven't really talked about it. It's kind of a secret project that I've been working on. So not everybody go crazy because this is not available. This is not available for you. But this person wanted something to like cut leather with, and they sent me an idea of what they liked, and they sent me something, and then I create.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's like gorgeous, man.
Yeah,
very nice. I love those handles.
It looks very comfortable.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're right there. They need to
sure
cut
those
leather
aren't
with
available, Scott? Are you sure? Are you sure those aren't available?
This is a prototype, the first one I've ever done, but yeah,
I recommend you do them.
Pretty crazy, huh?
I said I recommend you do those, but that's just me. So it's funny whenever I go. So my daughter's a big crafter. She loves her crafts, and she's into like candy beads and all that other stuff. And so I am always at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's and all these freaking craft shops. But whenever I do, I always go over to the drawing section. And the reason why is because anytime they have new stencils, I buy a new stencil. And like this right here, this stencil, this is great for like if I want to come up with a milling pattern that's unique or something like that. Yep. That's what I use these for. So I have that. I have tons of these little things here. And, you know, I mean, there's so many places that that I've come up with things for it. And it's very funny because people ask, you know, oh, how'd you come up with this? How'd you come up with that? I'm going to tell everybody right now something that nobody knows except probably Chris. And I don't even know if he remembers that I told him this, or maybe I didn't tell him this. But somebody asked me what the belly of this blade came from. If you were to take a Viper Anso Orso knife and you were to turn it upside down and take the spine of the handle and go like this, it will match this. So it's the truth. Okay, I couldn't come up with the angle I wanted, and that worked.
Yep.
Whatever you can make work is what becomes the shape, right? So, I mean, and you know that. So
Yep.
sometimes the curves just aren't there. Oops, I didn't mean to click on you. Well, I guess that part's been a happy accident.
So
There you go.
that's the original shape of the rock hopper, which I'm holding on. Like I'm trying to get the Kubi. So that's the Kubi version of it. You can see the difference in those two. But
Oh yeah.
the rock hopper is a mix of the QSP penguin blade shape and basically the handle of a mini griptilian.
There
You
go.
know, I
see it now.
love the QSP penguin.
Yeah,
Everybody needs a penguin.
I have a penguin, but it's still that blade shape
That's
is
the
pretty
shape.
much
Yeah.
a penguin. I just took the hand instead of the straightforward handle that the penguin had, I have the mini griptilian, and I kind of like the way that it rounded in my palm. And I just kind of put those two things together, and then I created like that little hoop up there and everything else. But
You create a fixed blade that didn't exist that is comfortable in
it's
slicing.
inspired by. It's inspired
Yeah.
by.
That's it.
Or this one is a little bit more obvious. I don't know if you guys will be able to get that one, but
Hang on one second here. Let's blow this up so I can see. That handle is talking to me about what is that? I can't place it, but I know it's right there. As soon as you say it, I'm gonna like, dang it.
so the Farmforge Mini Archbishop or the Civivi Odium.
Yup.
I just basically made a fixed blade version of that knife.
Nice.
Fixed blade version of it.
Well,
So
if you want to get silly, right? The Gracchus, this was inspired originally by the Kunwu Padre.
I can
And
see
this is
a
what
little
kind of
bit.
it turned into. Yeah, I mean it morphed from there, but that's what started this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And it's okay to be inspired by.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be
yeah.
like, but I want to be inspired by. Yeah, it's totally nothing like, but
No, nothing. But you can.
Yeah, you
And
can
that's
see
always my
something
fear.
there.
Like I just showed you guys the hawk, that one that I was showing up, and then Kaiser released the whiskey jack, and I was like, dang it. Or like the one that Chris got, the spike. It's called the spike. It's a very kind of
Hey,
I
Kathleen.
have to get into my drawer. Every time I release something, like I kind of was working on this. This is the micro design.
I love that.
Every time I do it, then Jack Wolf does something similar. I swear, every single time.
Do we need to have a conversation with Ben? Do you need me to?
I'm like, every time I'm working on a new design, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that. Then all of a sudden, like, that's the spike. And I did the spike last year, my first. Well, yeah. And then Jack Wolf released his one that's similar. I forgot the Midnight Jack fixed blade or whatever that one. Obviously, it's a different handle shape and everything, but
Sure,
it's like great minds think alike. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
nothing wrong with it. Look, my second design was not inspired by really anything, to be honest with you. I was drawing, and the next thing I knew was it just kind of got somewhere where all of a sudden it made sense, and I was like, oh boy. And then just the other day, I saw a knife drop, or I should say, I don't think it dropped yet, but it's coming out from Katuo. And I looked at it and I shook my head and I went, boy, it looks very, very close, like kind of scary close. And I don't have any public pictures of the second design.
Yeah.
So I know they didn't get inspired by anything or steal anything or anything like that. Nobody knows about it. So.
Yeah, the problem with my stuff is it's all out there.
Yeah.
Like the hawk.
Yeah.
I did my first hawk. I did that a year ago, but it's just a simple bird and trout style kind of fixed blade. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah,
first one I did.
I understand. But at the same time, and we've said it 100 times, right? I mean, there's not that many new blade shapes that people come up with very often. There's
Only
yeah.
Sever 7 comes up with new blade shapes. I mean,
yeah, he does come up with some pretty wild stuff. That's for sure.
Harpoon Tonto recurve. That's his next one.
Yeah, to get some big funky thing like that.
Is that the new tack knives?
Yeah, that's the new
beautiful monster or something.
The magnificent beast or something.
Magnificent like beast. That's it. Beautiful monster.
It almost looks like
beast.
It almost looks like a toy on camera. Does it look like a toy in real life?
I mean, the texture G10 kind of does give it that look, but it's a good one.
It's a substantial looking knife, yeah.
It is a substantial knife, but comfortable, grippy. G10 14C, $70.
Yeah,
not bad. Yeah, they sent me this. That thing is pretty awesome.
So you had talked about Sever's crazy blade shape. So I'll give you a funny story, right? So he reached out to me one time and he said, "Hey, can you do me a favor?"
Hey, Sam, can I stop you before the comments get too far? Can you post on the Edge EDC's comment at 10:56? Yeah. Okay, go right ahead. You can post your stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can post.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're thank you for catching that, by the way. So Sever reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you help me draw one of my knives? Like, I'll give you what I want to make, right? And if you can just kind of get it on paper so that it's clean, so that we can get it to the cat." Yeah, no problem. He's like, "I can sketch it and all that stuff, but I want to make it like really nice and right and tight." So, okay. So I'm going back and forth. And I mean, it's the little things that at one point it's like, nope, erase this. Nope, flatten out the handle over here. I mean, it just got so wild. I mean, we spent like hours just texting back and forth, making this design happen. Right. And then he uses whoever he uses for CAD now. And I think I know who. Well, actually, he told me who it is, but I don't know if everybody else knows who it is. So I'm not gonna. I won't out that. But it was his design, right? It was absolutely 100% Derek's design. It wasn't. I didn't draw any. I didn't make anything for him. I just merely put everything down on paper so that it was clean.
Okay.
Because when I once I get past the sketch phase and I start really drawing out everything, I'm very, very precise. I'm precise to the point where I know every point, my pivot points within fractions of an inch, fractions of a millimeter even. Most of the time, Lute tells me that he either doesn't have to move my pivot or has to move it like a thousandth or something like that to make it exactly where it needs to be. And I mean, this is all hand drawn how I'm doing it. So I'm very, very precise with my drawing. And so he wanted to just have it kind of that way, but it was just very funny because it's like I'm going back and forth with him. He's like, "Nope, this way. Nope, put it there. Nope, extend this." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's tough.
He's a
when I
hoot,
did this folder, basically I took one of my design fixed blades and I transitioned it into a folder.
That's
which
awesome.
is much harder to do. It's much easier to take a folder and transition it to a fixed blade than to do the opposite.
I am sure of that. I am sure of that.
I drew it all out and I cut it all up and I made paper models and I was trying to figure out the pivot on it and everything else. And I did send it to Lute. He made it work. And we'll see. That's awesome.
He is a magic man with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool.
He's freaking awesome. But yeah. Well, hey, it's almost 11 o'clock. So
it is. We've gone 2 hours instead of an hour. And I know that you are an earlier person than I am for that. So,
yes,
Scott, it has been an absolute pleasure, brother. I appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun. And I hope we can do this again, my friend.
You let me know. I'm down. If I can stay up, I'm down.
Oh,
luckily,
man.
luckily, I don't have to go to my job tomorrow, but I can sleep in a little bit. But I'll be out in the shop doing some
Right
stuff.
on, right on.
Yeah.
Well, if I can, I'm getting Wi-Fi on the plane. I will tune in if I can. So, so anyhow, before you go, is there anything you want to tell anybody or say anything to anybody?
No, you
if
guys
you
are good.
haven't,
Thank you guys. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. I am almost at 5,000 here on YouTube, getting so
Awesome.
close, super
Awesome,
close. Everything on YouTube is so much fun when you go up and you go down, but it's a total ride. And if you're interested in any of the knives that I showed tonight, make sure to hit me up on Instagram. I'll let you. There do some available, and I have a bunch of stuff coming in. So I got a bunch of projects coming up, and
Awesome.
hopefully I'll see you guys in Atlanta, because I will be in Atlanta.
We will be there. We're
We'll be
already
there.
booked, sir.
Yep, I got my tickets. I got my room. I'm already ready to go. It'll be fun.
We are ready to go as well. So
Yep.
you heard the man himself. If you are not subscribed to Aries EDC, go ahead and check him out. Make sure that you jump on there and sub to his channel. He's getting close to 5,000. If you're interested in one of his
Thanks,
knives,
Dale.
reach out to him and get on his books. He makes gorgeous stuff, as we've all seen tonight. And yeah, appreciate you coming on, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It was nice meeting face to face with you guys.
Yeah, likewise, my friend.
You as
We'll
well.
catch up with you soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Goodbye, Scott.
See you, man.
Later.
So, yeah, I don't know if my father is signing off or not. I did see him say, have a good trip to Texas. So if you are signing off, Dad, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to only stay on for a few more minutes, and then I think we're going to cut it soon as well. I know I've got a long travel day tomorrow. Chris has got work, and maybe I can let him get to bed at a reasonable time for once. So, but if you haven't, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. We would love to keep building on what we've got here. I'm coming in. I saw 651 subs for our channel, so we are climbing. We grew massive, by the way. So it's I think we were at 112% last month, Chris. So we had another really strong month of growth.
Yes,
We just
thank you,
crossed
everyone.
over 1,700 followers on Instagram, so we're moving up there as well. So subscribe to the channel. Derek, to answer your question, buddy, I am landing tomorrow night around 9 o'clock. So if you're around tomorrow night or whatever, I'll shoot you a text when I land, man. If you guys are around doing something, I'll meet up with you once I can drop my bags off at the hotel. But yeah, and then wyvernkodiak.com. We launched our website a couple of weeks ago. Head over there, sign up for the newsletter, keep in the know for our knife drops and any merchandise that we get ready to do or whatnot. So I've got some shirts up there. I just put Hanks on the site the other day. So if anybody's interested in any handkerchiefs, we have some Hanks up on the site there as well.
You're wearing one of the new shirts now, Sam, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing the gray shirt tonight. And then we've got black ones and gray ones for sale. And I think the next go around, I think we're going to add to that. So it's going to be a couple extra different ones, different styles and stuff like that. I want to get a couple options out there. It's pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, so if anybody's coming to Blade Show Texas, by the way, I would love to connect with you guys. I am hoping that some of you are going to be there. I know Casey Spearon from Tempest Knives and the Knives Fast channel is going to be there. I know Sever 7 is going to be there. I know, let's see, Fred the Lug is going to be there. So there's going to be a bunch of people. Obviously, some of the big content creators, the Jared Neves and stuff like that. Ray, Everyday City Carry, as you know him, he's going to be there. and he's got that crazy backpack. He's got like a $5,000 Wi-Fi backpack thing that he's going to be carrying around there. That's going to be absolutely crazy. Yeah, he's going to be like a walking signal. It's hilarious.
Nice.
So, yeah, if anybody's going to be there, connect with me. Would love to meet you in person. Would love to show you the prototypes and talk to you and everything like that. So, Adventure 50, no 2XL on black. Yeah, I think we sold out of those on the black right now, Lance. But I will definitely be getting more in. I will definitely be placing another order for some more 2XLs, and I actually want to order a couple 3XLs as well. So I will get more for sure, sir. But I think we've still got a couple gray 2XLs left. So if you want a gray one, those are available as well. So yeah, so that's what we got going on. You got anything, Chris, going on?
I don't have anything going on except for a little bit of envy of Robert. He said that he picked up one of Neve's shivs.
Oh, you were able to get one of his shivs. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not enough into fixed blades that I was willing to like jump through hoops for one, right? Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind owning one. And really, Jared's a friend, so it's more to support him than it is the interest in the knife, I think, for me.
I bet that was sold out in 4 minutes or less.
Well, I don't think he even had but 20 of them or 30 of them.
Yeah,
or
it wasn't
something.
many. Yeah, it's the moment they went up, the first people that got in, I'm sure got them.
Yeah. No, and truthfully, I mean, like I said, I just couldn't do it, and I don't even know how much they were, but I mean, they're
They
nice.
weren't expensive.
They
Yeah,
no.
no, they weren't expensive. If Robert can pop it up, that'd be great. But I wanted to say there was something like $120 or something.
Oh, really? I must be. Didn't he have? Well, that's not the wax wing one, then, right?
It is. Yeah,
I
but
thought that was going to be like 300 and change,
maybe
245.
I'm wrong. Okay, he said 245. Yeah, I was completely off base. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I thought it was less expensive than that, but even then,
Yeah.
245 for one of his knives, I think is, I mean,
Oh, that's reasonable. I'm not
every
saying it's
model
an
that
unreasonable thing.
every model I have from him was more expensive than that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, no, I don't think it's unreasonable. And Jared does nice designs. Wax Wings does gorgeous designs. So I'm certainly know the
and
qualities there and everything. I think it's more than
and
reasonable. And he hand
he
sharpened
hand
all those.
sharpened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
you're getting a
adjusted.
Neves edge on that. Robert, if you
Yeah,
could, is the edge absolutely ridiculous on that? Because I watched some of the videos of him putting those edges on there, and those things just look like absolute laser beams. My guess is
yeah.
that they will carve.
15. Yeah,
Yeah,
15 degrees.
yeah.
Yeah.
A couple packs of super skin. Yeah, there you go. He put super skin band. He knew that you'd probably be cutting. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That
He's a wild man. So I'm
super
not shocked by that at all.
super skin's what saved my finger in Atlanta.
Yeah, I when I cut myself last week on that stupid Olatons,
Yeah.
I wound up juggling a knife into my palm last week. That was beautiful.
Mm,
So yeah, I have a
yeah.
video cutting paper. I'll have to check it out, Robert. I'm sure it's an absolute laser beam, man. I mean, and just yeah. But um, anyhow, that's what we got going on. I think we're gonna call it. I know that you all are probably like, no, we've got more time. Yes, I know we've got more time, but I got a long day of travel. Chris is gonna get work. Got to go to work in the morning. Somebody's got to do adult things while I go out and play. But keep your eyes open on the channel for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe and then hit that notification bell because one, I'm planning to do tons of content while I am in Texas. The second thing is that at random times, I may decide that I'm going to go live for periods of time. So I may go live for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It is not going to be the type of live where I'm going to be very interactive with you guys, because the truth of the matter is it's going to be extremely difficult for me to read my phone, walk around, pay attention to what I'm doing, and not step on people. So chances are it's going to be me talking to you all and showing booths and stuff like that, interviewing some of the manufacturers and makers and stuff like that along the way. So I hope that you guys can catch it, tune in. If not, obviously watch the replays and stuff like that. But I appreciate everybody coming out. Waxwing has some amazing edges to begin with. Jared's fine tuning makes those sick. Yeah, you know, I have no doubt that that is probably an absolutely bonkers knife that is probably sharp beyond any business that should be sharp type of sharp. So I'm looking forward to checking one out though at some point. I'll have to see if I can get my hands on one at some point.
Yeah,
So
and I don't know if Bumbleshay's still in here or not, but there, you know, she had recommended that when we were talking about the fidgeting and not being allowed to use the knives on the couch, yeah, she had recommended she was like, yeah, you guys just go buy your wives a knife, and so
I have,
my
and my wife
my
gave it back to me.
my suggestion is you buy her another one when you're in Texas, one that you really think that she might like that fits your hand perfect. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're Chris. When you are right, you are right. Prince Protean sounds like the perfect knife for my wife. And then
You,
while I'm at it, in case she doesn't like that one, I'm gonna get her an Arno Bernard I Mamba as well.
it only makes sense. And by the way, the Prince Protean would probably fit her hand about perfect. They're not
They're
large.
relatively smaller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna look. I have no intention, truthfully, and this is the God's honest truth. I have no intention of buying anything while I'm there. Okay. If there is a deal that is just so good that it's like a special at the show, I would never see that price again type of thing. Yeah, maybe I might pull the trigger on that. But the truth is, I'm not going there to shop. I am going there for several reasons. One is to meet a lot of the folks that I never get a chance to meet. Two, and maybe this is more important, maybe it's not. I don't think it's more important necessarily, but I think it's equally important, is to make sure that this gets into a lot of people's hands, because so far it really hasn't been in a lot of outsiders' hands, and it's time to put them in knife people's hands and let people give us some feedback on it and get some people excited about what we have going on, and then making some content. I mean, Chris and I are a knife company first and foremost, but the fact is we've turned ourselves into content creators as well. And because of that, we need to make sure that we keep the people that are subscribers, that are loyal to our channel, interested. And I think that this is a great opportunity to go inside and talk to a lot of places. And to be quite honest with you, as a knife company, we have different conversations too. So I'm going in with Concept. Concept has given me an exhibitor pass. I'm helping them set up on Friday morning. So there's a distinct possibility that there's going to be some interesting footage of me helping, set up booths and stuff like that. I heard from Fred earlier in the chat. He said he's going tomorrow and he's going to be wandering around while people are setting up. So you never know what's going to come out of this, but it's a cool thing, right? It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to just share what we come up with and what's going on there, and we'll make some cool content and whatnot. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
we've babbled enough.
Yeah, just thank you everybody for all the support and showing up tonight. I love watching the chat. I know we were talking a lot tonight and didn't address a ton of the comments, but man, I've been able to read through and, it's really inspiring to watch you guys talk to each other and the relationships develop. It's been really cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's such an awesome thing. We absolutely love the community. We appreciate all the support and the friendships that we've gained in this community, and we're looking forward to spending time with you at these shows and whenever we can do a meetup or whatever like that. We're definitely interested in doing it. So, but thank you all. If you're traveling to a blade show tomorrow, safe travels. I know I am. I will catch up with you all later, and keep an eye out on the channel. I appreciate everyone, and have a great
All right.
night. And we'll see you next
Good night,
week.
everyone.
See ya.